My name is Peter, and today I'm going to go into my story of how I made it initially from Poland to London, now in Dubai as a high-ticket remote sales closer. We start in Poland. I was born in Poland in a small town near Warsaw. Moved to London when I was 3 years old. No English, obviously. My mum initially taught me literally how to say toilet, for example, so I could tell the teachers at school if I needed to go. So I remember being dropped off at nursery. I don't really remember having any memories from Poland itself, but I remember having memories of being dropped off at school to nursery in London, Southwest London initially, going through primary school, again, learning English as I go, learning the ropes, going back home, and I wouldn't say we weren't poor in any type of way, but wouldn't say we were middle class or anything like that either, just because I have memories of not being able to buy like Coke at a restaurant, for example, or being very conservative, no fizzy drinks in restaurants, or, no restaurants at all, but even, like a McDonald's was a big treat. And then even then it was like I would eat, my parents wouldn't eat, for example. So that's something that I quite clearly remember, and it's something that ties into my story later on, just because I didn't have that abundance, or I'm trying to get that abundance mindset now, which was, very tough to break out of that conservative mindset that I had ingrained in me from earlier on. Now, in London itself, initially grew up in Southwest London, went through primary school, moved to a secondary school in South London, closer to Mitcham area. The secondary school was one of the worst in the areas. It got closed by Ofsted 2 years before I arrived, so it wasn't the best, but I met some good people out there, some that I'm still in touch with today, so can't complain too much. Managed to do my GCSEs fairly well, good enough to break into one of the top grammar schools in the area, closer to Croydon this time. And sixth form, college, whatever you want to call it, I didn't have the longest experience, or again, the best experience, just because COVID closed down schools a couple months in, meaning that I had to sit my A-levels from home essentially, which allowed me to break into one of the best universities in the country, the University of Bristol. Up until this point, my journey sounds pretty good. I didn't have much growing up, managed to study hard, managed to get into one of the best universities in the country, study one of the best courses in the country. But this whole time, alongside all of this, I was trying to make money for myself. And it all comes back to the fact that, of course, my parents were trying their hardest, but I knew there was something out there which I could do for myself. So initially, alongside college, even later in secondary school, I was reselling, whether it was shoes, it was watches, graphics cards, PS5s, whatever people needed, whatever was in demand, I was there to supply it, nearly everything. Essentially, that's how I made my initial first 6 figures. Managed to do that throughout a couple years. Like I said, late secondary school, throughout sixth form, especially during COVID, when didn't have much going on at school. Managed to put a lot of my time into reselling in order to make my first serious amount of money, and then continued to do that as I went into university as well. Doing that at university allowed me to meet people outside of university itself. Of course, everyone at university studying economics is going to go into investment banking, private equity, whatever it may be. But being entrepreneurial, wanting to make money for myself, I met a lot of people outside of university, which actually opened up my perspective a lot on not needing to be in the best university or the smartest person to make it in life, even though we're only 18, 19, and I was chilling with people younger than me, older than me, who have made less money than me, more money than me. It was good to be around different types of people, not just stuck around the same type of person at university, which is dead set on going into investment banking or private equity, for example. Made money alongside university. To be honest, I don't really remember going to any lectures, any seminars, because you could do all of your work from home. All of the slides I could read at home, and I just found it a lot more efficient to study from home. So managed to graduate from the University of Bristol with a 2-1. Decent enough grade. Managed to secure initially a spring week at the Bank of England in my first year, a summer internship at a company called Fitch Ratings, so corporate finance in my second year, and then converted that into a full-time position once I graduated. So pretty standard path so far. University of Bristol, economics, going into Canary Wharf, into, a dream role. I used to go to Canary Wharf when I was younger and look at everyone in their suits running to the office and thinking, I want to be like them. But we'll go into how that all changed once I actually got there. So throughout university, I was making money with reselling. It kind of died off in the final year, and luckily enough, I could study more. I could focus more on my studies, make sure I graduated with a good enough grade. And then from there, like I said, I had that secure corporate finance position at Fitch Ratings. And from there, I managed to actually meet one of my best friends now, one of my business partners, Isaac, outside of Selfridges. It was the summer of 2022. Whilst we were all reselling on Oxford Street in central London, I asked one of my friends to hold my bag. I come back and my bag is being held by some random guy called Isaac. And I tell him, you got my bag. And from there, we essentially started chilling. That was the summer of 2022. Summer of 2023, we went to Madrid, we went to Paris. So again, resell watches, again, all for business, little bit of pleasure in the meantime, but mainly for business. And then the summer of 2024 was when I graduated. We went initially to Thailand and then to Bali, mainly because Isaac, my friend, was dead set on moving to Thailand. And I was open to the idea as well. So we went to Thailand, went to Bangkok for 2 weeks. And I swear, I went outside one time and I never went outside again. It is one place I vouch to never return to again. Honestly, I don't want to skew people's perceptions, but it was one of the worst places I've been to personally. Obviously, I know Phuket, I know other islands in Thailand are nice, but my personal experience of Bangkok wasn't the best. Luckily, this is the complete opposite in Bali, where we actually extended our trip from 2 weeks to 4 weeks later down the line. Went to Bali, met some amazing people, ended up even going to church in Bali, which I thought was impossible, but managed to make it happen. And living in Bali for that month was like living the island boy lifestyle. You wake up, sun is shining in your face, you got someone cooking your food, you got someone ironing your clothes, you've got your pool outside, you've got your motorbike, you go to the health club, you're living life. But to be honest, again, I don't think I could live there because there's just that mental barrier. There's that ceiling of you don't need a Lambo. I mean, no one needs a Lambo, but especially there where everyone's on a motorbike, you don't need anything apart from a good gym membership, a good health club, a decent villa, which even from Airbnb was like 1K a month. You don't need anything. And there was that barrier, which essentially meant that we had to go back to London, back to the drawing board. Where do we go from here? Now, unfortunately for me, I was too scared to hop from my corporate finance role into something, let's call it more risky. I kind of disappointed the people around me, unfortunately, and I was disappointed myself deep down as well. I went into my first day, and on my first day, I saw everyone from my internship, I saw all the new faces, and I knew that I'm just not going to be here. And I had to lie through all of the initial meetings saying, oh, what's your vision? How long are you gonna be here? I knew I'm not trying to be here even beyond the new year. It was September 2024, and I knew I didn't want to be here going into 2025. The initial first few months were very, very easy, but again, I was cruising. I was managing to play a lot of paddle, which I love playing, managing to play a lot of football, but at the end of the day, I was looking at my bank account at the end of the month, my take home was like 2.3K pounds. So nothing even to what I was earning at university. So I knew something was wrong. And this is where my friend Isaac, who was telling me about social media management, growth operating, sales, all of these business models that you could operate from your laptop, from the internet, he pushed me to go into it. And it was the Christmas break. And I remember like it was today, I woke up on Christmas Eve and he pushed me and pushed me and pushed me to send off Loom videos to hopefully be interviewed for some positions. He pushed me to the point where I managed to land a sales position at an e-commerce supplement dropshipping offer, essentially helping students get mentored to then be able to dropship and sell their own supplements. Now, bear in mind, I still haven't made the jump from corporate. So technically I've got a sales position and I've got my corporate position, and I'm lying in both. I'm telling the sales manager that I can dedicate all my time, and I'm telling my finance manager that I can dedicate full time to this as well. And obviously one has to go, one has to break. I'm taking sales calls from the office. I'm taking sales calls on my lunch break, after work. I'm not doing anything apart from working, either in my finance role or in my sales role. I'm doing everything to try and make it. And essentially, after doing that for 2 weeks, I made more from my sales position whilst working my finance job than I would from a whole month of working in finance alone. From there, I managed to get put on by, again, Isaac put me onto a fantastic guy in the sales space called Devonte Musson, who has an initiative called Deal Fuel, where you can be placed on sales roles. Now, from there, I managed to be interviewed for a few positions, one for which I'm still at now. I managed to go to Switzerland with them, that I'll go into in a moment. But what actually pushed me to go from my corporate finance position into sales was being put on an investment banking sales position, essentially helping companies raise capital through debt or equity. Now, this was my dream. I always wanted to go into investment banking at university, and now I'd be able to essentially be an investment banker whilst also being remote. It was literally the dream. I was being trained up for 2 weeks. I put in my notice, which is usually a month, but I pushed it to 4 days because I had to make it happen. And on the Sunday, the day before I meant to go back to work, hand in my laptop on the Monday, the day before, I get a call from the sales manager saying, "You've been dropped. We're not looking for the position anymore. Sorry." Hang up the phone. And I swear to God, as soon as he hung up the phone, I burst into tears because I thought everything was just fucked. I thought I left my finance position that my parents and everyone around me so proud of. I now had jumped into sales and I've been completely left in the dirt. No finance position, no sales position, no prospect of making any money, which is just dark, to be honest. But of course, again, once you get to that position, you can either break under the pressure or it can mold you into the person I've become today. From there, I went all in on the e-commerce drop shipping offer. I built up as many sales skills as possible. Alongside that, managed to land a role at a company helping students break into top business schools. I built up a great relationship with the two co-founders, one of which helped me move into my Marylebone, Central London apartment today with my friends. Essentially from there, went strength to strength. From hitting rock bottom essentially to in February, hitting my first 10K pound month, helping Isaac sign a client alongside myself, going to Manchester, recording with his Lamborghini Urus, flying around Manchester. Then I realized the month after from hitting rock bottom, I'd finally achieved something. I'd broken out of my corporate finance position and I'm living more of the life that I wanted to live. I remember like it was today. I was sitting on the bonnet of this Lamborghini Urus in Manchester, in my tracksuit, not in my suit, and thinking, this is where I wanted to be. Not in the finance position. I wanted to be in Manchester on a random Wednesday with my friends, seeing what is possible. Hit my first 10K month and then went from strength to strength from there. Built a great relationship with the owners at the business school mentorship, and then got introduced to some amazing people, one especially Federico, who recently took on a ex-JP Morgan investment banker in America, helping students break into investment banking. Again, my area of expertise. So I hopped on the offer alongside my business school mentorship offer. I'm now on 2 offers. The e-commerce supplement dropshipping offer didn't end in the best way. The offer owner essentially didn't fulfill for many of the students, to which I still receive some saddening messages today that they're not being fulfilled for. And for myself personally, I didn't get paid out for all the commission myself either. So with that specifically, I'm now on the business school mentorship offer and the investment banking offer, both from which are going strength to strength. Managing 2 offers at once isn't the easiest. I was, doing 3 at once at one time as well, so that's even harder, but I managed to make it work. And that is what helped me make consistent 10K months, with my highlight being a $32K month. It was partly commission and then partly also helping my friend sign clients for his agency. Because one of the strengths I managed to build up is stop being so introverted, becoming extroverted, which is an amazing technique if you want to improve your networking skills. Improving your networking skills can really open up many, many opportunities, because you are only one question away and one opportunity away from living your dream life. Month to month, I was earning 10K months, my highlight being a 32K month. And then now I've been, again, going strength to strength with still the investment banking offer, with the business school mentorship offer. The main things I was worried about was working for real companies. And these are real companies helping students achieve real outcome. I'm in Dubai right now for the 2nd time this year. I hit my record month back in March when I was in Dubai for the first time, and then broke it when I was back in London, when we moved into our Marylebone apartment. So of course, kind of goes to show I'm easily motivated, but it goes to show I need to go a long way to become disciplined as well. Now, I've helped a lot of my friends along the way break into the exact same thing in terms of remote high ticket closing, because they themselves all went into corporate as well, most of them. And they saw what I was able to achieve, and of course, asked me how I can help. I've helped as many people as possible, and now want to do and keep doing the same thing, because honestly, I'm not special. Anyone can do this. I came from a standard 40K a year corporate finance position, and I'm now able to travel the world. I was in Abu Dhabi for the F1 on a random Sunday last week. It's just not possible with a corporate finance firm or any corporate position. I'm earning more than in my investment banker friends. I have infinitely more freedom. I'm playing paddle with Mudrik on my birthday, Chelsea football players, just some stuff I could never imagine. And now I'm in Dubai, moving here in April. The final 6 months in London are going to be an insane stint in our Marylebone apartment, which I can only be thankful for to one of my business partners at the business school mentorship. It's been an amazing journey so far, but we're only getting started. We're moving to Dubai because the people you can meet here are absolutely insane. In addition to, of course, the tax savings, which only make sense when the UK is going the way it is. So that's kind of my story. As of right now, I'm in Dubai. We're flying to Ireland for a mastermind tomorrow. We're going to meet up with some amazing people out there as well. Some people I've met through the internet, some people I've met in real life as well. I'm shifting into sales management at the moment, helping others break into remote high-ticket sales positions in the exact same way that I did. Because like I said, it's not very hard what I did. It's just about taking that leap of faith and having the correct skills to do it. And hopefully I'll see you soon, whether it's in London, whether it's in Dubai, in Madrid, in Poland, wherever it may be. I hope to see you there. See you soon.